Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Jumpstart. This is Karen Hilton, founder and chief vision caster for the Rock Your Vision Masterclass community and TAP Executive Coaching. I am so glad you are here. We have an amazing show for you this morning. You know how we do it. I've got my tea this morning. This is toasted coconut. Y'all, I know that sounds crazy, but it is the perfect little burst of caffeine and flavor for me to jumpstart my week. And that is what Monday Morning Jumpstart is all about. We've created this community and really brought it to the digital space here on Facebook Live on our public page, the Rock Your Vision public page, to really just kind of welcome you in, to create an opportunity every single week, Monday morning, 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time, right here, to really just give you an opportunity to have a clean slate and to move forward in the week with power, with positivity, with hope, and with just the perspective that you're going to need to do life on your own terms this week. You know what? I get it. I know that right now it just feels crazy and weird, but I want you to know something. I say this all the time, and I know that you know that this is true. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. Come on, I need you to say it with me. Everybody, wherever you are, if I have a pulse, I have a purpose. That means there's something for you to do. Doesn't matter what's going on around us. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in, get your stuff. Let's get started. I have an amazing guest for you today. But before we do anything else, let me just say good morning to this community. Vanessa Aliaga, good morning, beauty. How you doing? How's New Jersey doing? Huh? I mean, you know, for those of you who don't know, I was born in the tri-state area. I was born in Staten Island, New York. That's right. I'm a New York girl. Come on. I'd say I'm a northerner. That means I was born in the north, but I'm blessed to live in the south. Come on. That's good. Kyla Charlemagne is here this morning. Good morning, Coach Kyla. How's it going? Missing you, girl. I know we are going to have an amazing show. And you know what? I know that Sarah Juliet Fruman is somewhere in here. Sarah, if you're here, I need you to just kind of say good morning, say hi. Let us know you're here. Thank you for being here. She's doing kind of the behind the scenes. She helps me keep my sanity, as does Vanessa. But anyway, this morning I have an amazing guest for you. I had an opportunity to meet Miss Kimberly DeShields-Spencer last year. I had been stalking her, following her on social media for a while because we were both featured in one of the most amazing magazines on the planet, Where Women Create Work. It is the Passion Project and an award-winning magazine founded and the editor-in-chief is Jo Packham. Jo is one of the most amazing women I've ever met in my life. Am I right, Kim?
Yeah.
Do you go by Kim or Kimberly?
Either one.
Okay. I'm going to call you Kimberly because that's what I've always called you. And it just feels better to say Kimberly this morning. But anyway, Jo is an incredibly special person, and she has a passion for featuring women leaders, women entrepreneurs. And so Kimberly and I were both featured in that magazine. And I read her profile and I was like, who is this woman? Like, she's really doing some things. And so as God would have it, we met last year in Dallas and had an amazing time together. And so here we are.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited about being here.
Welcome. Good morning, Kimberly. We're so thankful. And I appreciate the fact that you're here. I know it was a sacrifice, but thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, Kimberly, we do this every single Monday. We get together and we talk about what it feels like and what it looks like to do life on our own terms. And we do that really through three pillars: by getting focused, connecting to our purpose, and developing the perspective that we're going to need to
Yeah.
do life on our own terms.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of the year, our theme was play bigger. It was hashtag play bigger. We
Mm-hmm.
were going for it. We had a plan. We had things figured out. We did our in-person all-day masterclass. We had an amazing cohort.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID-19
Yeah.
showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. For a quick minute, I got knocked off my feet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just literally the wind taken out of me, along with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to thinking and praying about, wait a second, what just happened?
Right.
I have no clue how to hashtag play bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? When I finally kind of got past that first 3 weeks, I got in my prayer closet. Y'all know that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to get quiet, tried to get in a state where I could really hear from God, hear from what was going on in my head and my heart. And there was this message that kept coming to me saying, hold on a second. So play bigger is only about when things go right.
Mm-hmm.
Play bigger is only about when like everything's good, and the money's coming in and the marriage is great and the kids are clean. And is that only what play bigger is all about? Oh, it isn't.
No.
It isn't. And so I began to get re-inspired. And so that is really what we're doing in the space right now.
That's awesome.
So I am so thankful. I have been watching you, following you, and really just blessed by everything you do, the way you show up, the way you share from your heart, the way you serve your community,
Mm-hmm.
but most importantly, the way you serve your family.
Mm.
And so I just wanted to have an opportunity for this community to hear some of your essential pivot power plays.
Mm.
We're talking about what it means to pivot, what it meant for you when COVID-19 hit. And talk to us for just a moment. First of all, tell us who you are, tell us what you do,
Okay.
and then maybe share with us kind of where was your head and your heart when all of this craziness called COVID-19 started?
Well, to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been in business now for 22 years, actually. And I'm a marketing branding strategist. I actually started my career marketing and branding speakers, professional speakers and trainers. And that's what I did. I got fresh out of college. And it was one of the things where I did that for a number of years. And I realized I was doing a disservice to a lot of my clients because I was doing everything for them, the marketing, the branding, the planning, the strategizing. They just had to show up, which is great for a speaker, obviously. But over the years, I pivoted, if you will. And so that's in the last maybe 15 doing UImpact and running UImpact. And that's where we actually do marketing branding for companies. We work with nonprofits, ministries. We do small business owners as well. And I absolutely love that. And then from there, God kind of branched me out. You know how one situation leads to something else. So we started a UImpact Publishing Group. So we have a publishing leg as well, doing that for about the last 6 years. And that's been a blessing. And that came from experience that went wrong, if you will. And I love how God just kind of works things out. And then the next company we have is our Sow Reap Harvest, which is our subscription box service.
So it's called Sow Reap Harvest. Sow.reap.harvest. And where can people find Sow Reap Harvest on the web?
They can go to sowreapharvest.com. And it'll take them right to our website where they can learn more about that option that we have. And that's been a blessing to us as well. So everything that we've done and what we do is about helping people get out there in a bigger way. And so with the Sow Reap Harvest line, it's also really about sowing into others and sowing into yourself. And I'm really big on that.
Okay, so you've got a marketing company or branding company.
Yes.
You've got a publishing arm. And then you have this Sow Reap Harvest.
Yes. Yes.
And Sow Reap Harvest, for those of you that remember, we did I think it was the last 2 live streams. We did some giveaways. And the subscription box that I had is from none other than Kimberly DeShields-Spencer. And so how often do those subscription boxes come?
Well, right now they go out every other month. And starting November, we're going to move to an every month option. So, but right now we do it every other month for like $24.99. We've tried to make it as affordable as possible without compromising value.
Let me just tell you, everybody, if you're watching this, you need to pop over to soreapharvest.com and check out what they've got going on over there. I'm so glad to say one of the original folks who said an immediate yes. Anything Kimberly does, I'm like, yes, whatever it is, we'll talk about it later. And I'm so glad I did, because it's like getting a little box of unicorns and rainbows. And y'all know I'm all about the unicorns and the rainbows. And I'm telling you, it is high quality. There's such thought that goes into the box, and it comes automatically. I don't even have to think about it. So I am so grateful, Kimberly, that you invited me and included me on that launch. It's amazing.
And I'll share too one thing, and just like you about Rock Your Vision, we believe in supporting female entrepreneurs. So a lot of our boxes is stuff we create in-house, but we also look for women that are trying to build. And so we can help get their products out there in a bigger way. So our product is primarily stuff we've done, but the other half of it is supporting women in business.
Wow. Did you guys hear that? I mean, can we give a collective clap to supporting women-owned businesses? That is absolutely amazing. Kimberly, tell us a little bit, so clearly you are an entrepreneur extraordinaire. You also are a mom and a wife. Tell us about your family.
Well, I'm actually married for 1 year. It's my second marriage. I'll be honest with that. But it's been a blessing. So I have a 12-year-old son, Christian, and I have a new son, Caden. He's about 8 months old.
Oh my gosh, you guys, these boys. I mean, y'all know I'm a boy mom. # boy mom. And I'm telling you, these boys are so delicious. Like, pass the biscuits and gravy. Right. These boys are beautiful.
Thank you. And for me, like you said, I'm about family. I love my family. I love everything that God has restored in us. And so we even have our own collective group that we do to teach the boys about, well, Caden can't learn quite yet, but Christian and I and Charles, we have the DeShields group. So we do nonprofit type of work. And Christian wanted to create that where he does stuff in the communities. So, we're a family of business and developers. We're just trying to use every drop that God's given us. So,
wow, you're speaking to this mama's heart right here. I absolutely love that. Well, talk to us for a second, Kimberly, about, you've got so many great things going on. You've got clients to support. You have multiple business lines. You're a mom and a wife. Where was your head and heart when quarantine started, when COVID-19 hit?
It was interesting. I'm probably the opposite of what some people were at. I was in a really interesting place of peace. Because one, when it started happening, you hear all the things that was people getting sick and dying, et cetera. It makes you, at least for me, it did, pause and just really look at where I'm at in that moment. My family was safe. We were healthy, so it really quickly reminded me how important it is to breathe into that next moment, to really be thankful for where you're sitting at right now. We didn't want to immediately get fearful. We wanted to really just kind of stay slow and steady, if that makes sense. Just kind of to see how things are going to happen, how it will affect our family. Because our first hit was Christian coming just home every day, or being home every day and having to homeschool. And that was wait a minute. Okay, so now I have a baby and I got a 12-year-old. I got to make sure it's doing his work. And so it was one of those things where I just tackled the thing in front of me versus trying to worry about the thing outside of me.
So let's capture that as a power play. Focus on the thing in front of you. Is that what you said?
I did. Yes. Because to me, the other elements, I can't control COVID, but I can control what COVID does to us. So I wanted to make sure that in our home, there wasn't that fear. I'll say but my husband and I wanted to make sure there wasn't that element of fear, that Christian still has the schooling, but also had an element of play. So we had to be real creative with how we did things, so that way we could still function in the midst of the dysfunction, I can't talk this morning, that was happening around us, because you and I both know panic hits hard.
Yeah.
And we saw that hitting with people around us, and we just refused to have that come in our home.
Mm.
Yeah.
You were intentional about creating moments of play.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Like
So
we still
good.
had our family movie nights that we do. We still had moments where they went outside and played in the yard. We just still made sure that we go run for ice cream, so it may be all mashed up, but Charles would go out and grab that and we'll still have our ice cream stuff. And, we just try to make sure that it wasn't like all panic, because kids can feel that too.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want that there. And then we had to also, as adults, kind of look at what are we going to do in the midst of this? How are we going to handle that?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we say we trust God until something happens.
Yeah.
So now we got to see how we're going to trust him in this.
Come on. That's
Yeah.
good. I love it. I love it. Listen, Kimberly is dropping some already amazing essential pivot power plays. Do me a favor. Would you share this for those of you that are watching in the live stream? Would you do us a favor and share this with your community? We want to share these amazing Monday morning jumpstarts because we want everybody in the world to know that they can jumpstart their week. And I think Kimberly really set us up well by saying, you know what, we can't control the things that are going on out there, but we can control how we can impact the things that control us. Yeah. And I absolutely love that. It's a perfect thing. So do a watch party or just forward it to your network on IG, however it is you'd like to do it. We want the world to know about this amazing woman. So thanks again. If you're watching on the live stream, if you haven't already, let us know you're here. We want to know you're here. We know some of you are stalking us, ghosting us, but we want you to jump on in the community and let us know you're here. All right. Amazing. Well, Kimberly, so you have this mindset that you needed to really be intentional about, kind of what you were doing in your own family. How did it affect your business?
Honestly, it didn't affect my business. And that's interesting. I've always believed, and I can't remember it offhand, I wish I could. There's scripture in Ecclesiastes that talks about having multiple streams. So I had that set up for whenever, but it didn't really affect my business per se, but it did affect my clients in some aspects. Many of them had to go to different shifts and changes. And one of the biggest advice I'm giving a couple of them was the one thing you have to remember is still I know you talk about getting focused as one of your pillars, but you got to almost not lie to yourself. You got to make a promise to yourself saying that I refuse to let this take me out of my focus. That's so key, because we can start having the shiny ball like, okay, so I need to do 10 Zooms now. I need to do this, I need to do that. And we start becoming like a little bit jittery. But if you stay really focused on your plan and have a scalable plan where you can see growth, stay there. Because that's where that focus comes in, because stuff is always going to happen, different severity levels. But if you stay focused, you'll find yourself still being able to move forward. Whatever moving forward looks like, you can still keep moving forward. And I think that's one of the things I even noticed in my own business was, okay, I see people having to shift, and I have to shift with that, obviously. But it didn't mean I shift outside of what I am and outside of what I do. It just means that I have to look at the landscape of what I was building and see, okay, so maybe this is the format that I'm used to doing. So now I'm the format that I got to utilize, but still staying on track.
Wow. We could go so many different directions with this, but I absolutely love what you're saying. And you guys, this is an essential pivot power play where Kimberly is saying, you know what, I knew what I needed to be working on. And that is the kind of the foundation. Our pillars in the Rocket Vision community is get focused, connect to your purpose, and develop the perspective that you're going to need to do life on your own terms. And so really getting focused about, okay, well, what did I start the year attempting to do? And then connecting to your purpose. In other words, not allowing the world around you to kind of to reshape your priorities, but to get focused, to get clear about, hold on a second, how do I pivot what it is I'm doing? And I think any business owner, there are countless stories of businesses that have not made it because they weren't willing to pivot. They weren't paying attention. And let me tell you something, pivoting requires you taking a step back
Yeah.
and taking a broader look, right? As
Mhm.
entrepreneurs and as leaders, oftentimes we get caught up in the detail, right? We're caught up in the doing. We're
Yeah.
looking at the granular stuff. That isn't leading, that's managing. Come on, that's
Mhm.
good.
Very true. Very true. It is, and that's the one thing I love about your title, The Rock Your Vision, because when you have vision, it's hard to get, well, true vision. It's hard to honestly get off track or to lose that. Now, yes, things can happen, but rocking in means that you still rock with it when things happen, right? And this is what I think COVID has done is caused us to either step back or step forward in your vision. It
Wow.
really is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love where you're going with this. And so one of the things that I love words. I love what
Mhm.
they mean, how they sound, if they're in songs, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And so I looked up the word pivot,
Mhm.
and pivot means, let's see here, to mount on, attach, or provide with a pivot or pivots to cause to rotate,
Mhm.
revolve, or turn.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, to cause to rotate, revolve, or turn.
Mhm.
Now, pivot does not mean that the thing that's pivoting changes its purpose.
Right.
It may change its function.
Right.
Woo! That just,
Yeah.
y'all,
But that's truth. That is truth.
come
Yes.
on. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it changes its purpose, but it may change how it functions.
Yeah.
And so for us in the Rock Your Vision community, we were in person. That was kind of our big thing,
Right.
being able to connect one-on-one, to do our master classes, to do our
Mhm.
mini master classes. We had venues lined up. We had speakers lined up. We had
Mhm.
all this stuff going on, and we had to really figure out how to pivot.
Yeah.
And so what I began to realize is, you know what? Our purpose hasn't changed,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
y'all.
No, no. But
Our
think about the
purpose
definition that you
hasn't
said
changed.
too. The
Huh?
definition, the definition you gave, one key thing about that is that it did pivoting doesn't mean stopping. There's
Mm,
constant movement. You just changed your, like you said, you reshift, but you don't stop moving. I think one thing COVID has done is paralyze some people.
yes.
They got paralyzed in what they're seeing, reading, or, oh my God, no one's going to buy from me now. It's a bad time to promote. It's a bad time to do this. So we develop our own level of fear. We
Mm.
develop our own level of excuses. But by the definition
Ooh.
you just gave, it doesn't mean to stop. It just means to reshift.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think if
So
people
good.
really understood that, I think it could really change how they see their vision. It's just a reshifting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some people in our community around the world
Mm-hmm.
have lost their jobs
Yes.
or lost someone to COVID or
Mm-hmm.
somehow experienced um, kind of the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 punch of
Yeah.
whatever is going on
Mm-hmm.
in their own lives,
Yes.
never mind COVID.
Yeah.
And that can feel overwhelming. It can
Right.
feel like it can intensify and magnify, the sense of isolation and
Mm-hmm.
fear. Pastor Andy Smith was on last week. He's kind of our unofficial community pastor, and
Mm-hmm.
he was highlighting the fact that so much of what people have felt is a sense
Mm-hmm.
of isolation
Mm-hmm.
and loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are 75 Zooms a day,
Yeah.
there's that feeling of isolation and loneliness. And so, for those in our community that are experiencing multiple impacts, that one,
Yeah.
two kind of punch,
Mm-hmm.
we've had all this civil unrest going on, and it just feels
Yeah.
like news, like every time you turn on the news or every time you open up your social media feed, there's some sort of doom and gloom. And so in this
Mm-hmm.
community, we've been very intentional about reminding people who we are and
Mm-hmm.
who we are when we started.
Mm-hmm.
We've been very intentional about creating a safe, positive, healthy space.
Mm-hmm.
Not a space that doesn't talk about reality, because
Right.
everybody knows, and I need y'all to give me an amen, we keep it real up in here.
Mm-hmm.
But we also know that we
Yeah.
all need a lifeline. Can you talk for a
Yeah.
second about just kind of what it means to keep your head in that space
Yeah.
being real, but also kind of holding on to your anchors.
I'll tie to something that you do, actually. You garden. And it's a
Yeah.
place that you come to get peace at. And I think when you feel isolated, I think people forget. And I think it's a great time to remember the things that fill us up,
Mm,
because we're so used to being busy and being on and being plugged in and checking the multiple accounts that oftentimes we can mistake that as community togetherness, because we're so plugged in that oftentimes we forget ourselves in just our day-to-day life. So I know the word self-care gets put out there so often, but this is such a great time to remember your passions, the things that
mm.
fill you up, the things that don't make you feel isolated but makes you feel very full. So like when I see your videos and you're sharing about the vegetables
My
that are planted,
zucchini or whatever.
no matter what it is or what it is, you can see that you are full in that moment. And I think if we can remember that, like for me, sometimes it's just curling up with a really good mystery romance novel. I mean, I feel all right in my world sometimes when I can just read something,
Yeah.
just for fun. But I think if we can remember that, do things that fill us up, it can help take away some of that void and some of that isolation. And I think this is a great time to really pause and look at what that is for us, or
Yeah.
how, for individually what that means.
Yeah. Come on, y'all. That's so, so good.
Mhm.
Just want to take a moment and say hi to the community. Hey, Debbie. Debbie Beaudry Hatch is in the house this morning. She says, Amen. Same for me.
Mhm.
Pivoting seemed challenging, but now I can teach more people than I could to live. I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
Debbie, we need to have you on a live stream because you've got some great things going on too. I know you've just moved, but I would love to chat with you about potentially having you on the show. So we are really, really big into featuring the women in this community. We
Awesome.
know, Kimberly, that there are lots of celebrities out there that are doing great
Mhm.
things. And we look up to some of them that are really doing things the right way, and making an impact and making a difference. But guess what? We live our own magazine life right here in
Yes.
this community.
I
So
love
we
that.
like to feature our own. Come on, we got celebrities up in here, right?
I love that.
Yeah. Coach Akila says no matter what we have to keep moving one step at a time. I want to go
Mhm.
back to something you said a second ago about connecting to the things that fill us up.
Mhm.
One of the things that I think that COVID-19 and being in quarantine and having to isolate, having to social distance from each other has done is it's kind of magnified those places that may have been empty or neglected. And
Mhm.
so, one of the essential pivot power plays that I think we need to talk about
Mhm.
is taking this time to identify what are the things that fill me up,
Yeah.
right? How do I, like, if I don't have a hobby? I actually had somebody say this to me the other week, like, I don't have any hobbies. Um, Boo, this is the time to find one,
Yeah.
meaning something that that fills your soul,
Mhm.
right? That if you were on a desert island, you would want to do, even if nobody was paying you for it.
Mhm.
Come on, y'all, that's good,
That's
right?
true. Yes. Yes.
Gardening, maybe it's reading, maybe it's writing, maybe you've had a book
Mhm.
in you. We're
Yes.
about to do a series on writing your story and
Um,
publishing a book, so we got to talk about
awesome.
that. But whatever that is, I
Yeah.
want to encourage those of you, even those of you that are super busy. And let me just say something to y'all that are super, super busy, like you're busier than you've ever been. True story, hashtag true story. Do not wait for the next whatever, the next thing to
Mhm.
make space for yourself,
Yeah.
because there will never be a great time to do it. Maybe it's
Mhm.
COVID-19. Maybe it's,
Mhm.
who knows what else. It doesn't matter,
Mhm.
right? There have to be ways that you connect with your soul.
Mhm.
I am busier than I've ever been, but at the beginning of quarantine, when I didn't have a choice, I forced myself, like, and forced, when I say forced, I mean absolutely forced. It was difficult,
Mhm.
hard, like really, really hard. Like I
Yeah.
had to get in my prayer closet and have some counseling about it. Anyway, I had to really kind of reprioritize and reorganize what was
Mhm.
important in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was there that I reconnected with, you know what, this is something that I love. And I began to create a discipline around gardening. And you know what comes out of that? When you create a discipline around a thing, it becomes a habit. And you know what habits bring? Fruit.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Yep.
I'm just going to leave that right there and leave the mic drop. Fruit.
That's true. Yeah.
Tell us maybe one or two things that you wish somebody had told you at the beginning of quarantine. What do you wish you had known at the beginning of quarantine?
I wish I knew that I was gonna see deeper parts of people through quarantine. Because on social media, as things happen with COVID, and then all the different events that were happening in the world, you just saw so many views, so many things being posted and shared. And for me, it wasn't so much about cutting people off, nothing along those lines, but it showed me the heart of people that I did not know, the ways that I thought I knew them.
Wow.
And I didn't expect that. I also didn't expect how divided people can become. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for that, because usually when you're in this kind of situation, you think people come together a little bit more, but it seemed like there was more division and it became more political. Mm-hmm. And so that was a really jarring thing to see. And so that was something I had to get adjusted to the most, just seeing that, oh, so you feel that way? Okay, never saw that coming, never knew that, so it was an adjustment of perspective. It was an adjustment of, to be very honest, even looking at, okay, so who am I really surrounding myself around,
Come on.
Yeah, but not about cutting off per se. And sometimes that is a good thing to do, but it is seeing what they're choosing to put out in the world and seeing how that really aligns with how they may potentially really see me, so that's been very interesting, and wasn't prepared for that at all.
Yeah.
And in some cases, I really wanted to share with people, like, you may want to get offline now. This might be a good time to step back. But I think because we're so isolated in many ways, and the internet's become our best friend for some,
Yeah.
So that's been something that I wish I was prepared for a little bit more, just the changing dynamics of that.
Yeah, I think that's such great wisdom. One of the things, kind of the pivot power plays for me as it relates to things I wish, I had known, or maybe somebody had reminded me at the beginning of quarantine, is, girl, you ain't crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got good sense. Because one of the things that I think we've fallen into doing, entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, moms, friends, family members alike, is we have relied on, the social network to validate who we are, to give us the pat on the back and to say, yeah, I believe what you believe. That sort of thing. At some point, you have to make a decision about who you are. And then you walk into the world. But what we've done, I think in many cases, and I'm not trying to preach, I'm just sharing what I've observed, is people have been stunned waiting on other people to validate and affirm them. And so one of the things that I wish I had been reminded of early on is, you're okay. You've got good sense. Positive energy when you see it. The Holy Spirit when you see it. Peace when you see it. Positivity when you see it. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to forge straight ahead in this community, is because we were doing what has always been the heart of this community. This is why it's so important to connect to your purpose. So, beloveds, for all of you that are following along on the live stream, or maybe you're watching it on replay, type in the comments, #replay if you're coming in on the replay. I need you to get connected to your purpose. Your purpose is, what were you born to do? Who were you created to be? And that doesn't have to be super sexy or super, deep. For me, I'm a bridge builder. I am a worshiper. I love God. I was born to worship God. That is who I am. And we have a very diverse community. I love that. And I know for a fact, Kimberly and I were talking about this before, that that's what this community was designed to be. And it will always be that until God says something different. We embrace the diversity in this community. But I knew for a fact that my purpose, who I was born to be, is to be a safe place for people to connect, to get focused, connect to their purpose, and develop the perspective they need. So my question to you is, what's your purpose? What were you born to do? Regardless of what job title you have, regardless of how much money is in your account, what were you born to do? Come on, that was good.
Because it's so easy to forget.
Yeah.
It's so easy to forget. So I'm glad that you said that, because when we're busy with life and things are happening, we tend to allow the busyness to affect our purpose, to affect the movement of our purpose, and I think when you are in your purpose, things shift around it, but you don't have to get out of it, So I think I love what you said about that remind them about being in their purpose. So it makes it different. It just makes it different. It makes room for them.
It makes a huge difference. Yeah. And you know what? One of the things that, one of the questions I get a lot is, Karen, how do I connect to my purpose? Right? I'm doing a job, but the job doesn't really fulfill me. We've got some things coming your way. So I encourage you, if you are not already in the free group coaching community, all you have to do is look at the top of this banner. There's a little button that says visit group. Hop in there. Please make sure you're in there, because we've got some things coming for the folks that are in that group coaching community to help you clarify your purpose, to get clear. Maybe you knew your purpose and you've gotten distracted. Maybe you were walking it out. Maybe you've been an entrepreneur, or you've been trying to figure out how to shift into that space and you don't know how to do it. In the beginning of the year, when we were getting ready for masterclass, I had somebody to reach out to me on IG, on Instagram, and she is an amazing entrepreneur. She's doing just incredible things, but she's doing the corporate hustle 9 to 5, and then she has a side hustle, and she is doing amazingly well in both spaces, but she's overwhelmed. She's exhausted. She's trying to figure out how to balance it all. She's a wife and a mom. And she wrote me the most beautiful letter. And she said, you know what, Karen, is it always going to be like this? Am I always going to be exhausted and tired? You know what? I have been there. I don't know exactly what you're feeling, but can anybody else relate to that on this live stream right now, where you just feel overwhelmed? You haven't figured out how to scale. Maybe you are doing it all by yourself. You're the garbage man and the mailman and the cook, and you're trying to deliver product or create things or whatever. You're trying to do it all. Kimberly, would you talk to us for a second about what would you say to those entrepreneurs out there who are feeling maybe a little discouraged right now, or maybe overwhelmed, who in this season are wondering, is this even the space? Is this even the time to be an entrepreneur? Would you speak to that a little bit?
I'm always going to say yes. It's always the time to be an entrepreneur. I do believe that always. But something, whenever you feel a sense of overwhelm, and this might sound a little corny, but remember why you started.
Come on.
I think you have to remember that you can have fun in what you're building. When it starts to feel like work and it becomes heavy, that's a great time to kind of pull back and ask yourself, are you building in a way that really fits you? Are you building in a way?
Hold on. I can't let you go for that, girl. Come on with it. Come on. I need you to break that down. Build it in a way that fits you. Talk to me about that.
One thing I realized, there's so much information out there about how to build your business. You should do this, don't do that, do this when, do this there, all these different things. And I realized in working with people that I have is that it's important to build in a way that fits you. Like, for example, I may not necessarily be live all the time. Not saying that doesn't fit me, but when I first started my business, that wasn't me. I loved the one-on-one. I wanted to talk and see people and be near them. But I was told that my business would never grow if I didn't do certain things. But it didn't fit me. So when I realized, let me build in a way that resembles who I am, because when it feels good in my own skin, I'm gonna move differently.
Come on.
And so then I started seeing how, God exponentially kept growing me, because I grew in a way that fit Kim. Now, did I use marketing principles and all the business stuff? Yes, but I made sure that it was me. And I think oftentimes the overwhelm comes because we're told, okay, do it this way. If you don't do it that way, it won't work. And so we're trying to do it as we see everyone else doing it. And then following a blueprint that wasn't ever designed for you. So you can build, but building a blueprint that fits your step, your voice, your way of doing things, how you connect. Like, you're very intentional, you're very relational. So I would expect you to be doing live often, because people need to see you, you need to see them. You connect differently, you know? But if someone told you, hey, don't ever do that, you would feel a sense of frustration, because then you're gonna be wondering, what else do I need to be doing? So I think overwhelm comes when we stop nurturing our purpose. Is one thing in doing
okay.
it.
Oh. Sarah, if you're following on the live stream, I need you to capture that. Say that one more time. One more time.
I believe that a lot of that overwhelm comes when we stop nurturing our purpose, like nurturing it, like really spending time enjoying what you do, like really spending time saying, you know what, I love talking to my clients. I love packing up this box. I love coming up with ideas. Like, I make sure, and it's a non-negotiable for me, Karen, my husband can tell you, I have to have fun in my business. So I have days where I just say, I'm going to creatively mind dump. I'm not going to analyze what I'm writing. I'm not going to critique it. I'm just going to write down ideas.
Come on. That's a word for somebody in this community. That's a word for some of y'all. Debbie Beaudry Hatch says, I'm a marketer, I'm an accountant, I'm a social media specialist, I'm learning new platforms, writing curriculum. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing teaching, which is actually her passion. I was talking to somebody about this. Hey, Beverly Wilkes. Hey, Shireen Douglas. Y'all, come on in, come on in, come on in. I have talked to so many in this community who are like, I'm doing all of these things. And oh, by the way, my purpose, what I actually am passionate about, what I actually feel like I was created to do, is way down here.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you start a community, when you start a business, you feel like you're doing it all. And in fact, you are. But there are a couple of things that I think are critical. And we're going to be doing a masterclass around organizing some of these things. One of the things is you have to get still and quiet. You cannot be in the noise, in the noise, in the noise, answering every email, every time somebody emails you, jumping to answer it. You need to organize your time. Kimberly, you just rocked our worlds, because I say this all the time, that you have to design, you have to be intentional about ordering your life. God will order your steps, but it's up to you to order your life.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to take a step back and take a look at what's in front of you. And I promise you, every person watching this video could take a step back and remove 5 things from your life. Come on, I am talking to somebody.
Yes.
You remove 5 things from your life: a relationship, a set of outfits, clean out that kitchen closet, something to take a step back, to be intentional about getting your life in order. Because when you do that, you will begin to see wait a second, I'm spending all my time over here. When I first started my business, I said yes to everything. And don't we do that as entrepreneurs? Or maybe we're out of work and we're looking for work. And I'm like, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. I took anything. Kimberly, can you relate to that?
Yes, I can relate to that.
Yes. And you know what? It was a blessing, because I learned what I didn't want to do.
Yes.
What I didn't do was let go of what I didn't want to do. I held on to it. And so I was trying to do everything.
Right.
And here's what happens. Those of you that are doing businesses, you're growing businesses, and some of y'all are on here, and I know who you are. Okay. You are trying to do everything, but you haven't segmented to look at your business. And here's what I say. When you are trying to figure out how to scale, in other words, and you say, well, how do I know I'm ready to scale? When you are beat, when you are exhausted, and when your passion now becomes your pain.
That's a word.
I just set somebody free. I just set you free. When those things are happening, that's how you know it's time to scale. Doesn't mean it's time to give up. It means it's time to scale. You say, well, Karen, I can't afford to hire a business coach. Y'all have met Marguerite Presley Davis. She is my business coach. She is everything to me. And I have built her into my budget. Why? Because I recognize I cannot scale without that kind of accountability and that kind of knowledge. The reality is, I'm an amazing coach. I know that. But I am not an amazing business strategist. She is. Kimberly DeShields-Spencer is an amazing marketer and brand strategist. There are other things that maybe she's not good at doing, but she's operating in her lane. And you know what? Her clients trust her to do her thing. Y'all need to be taking some notes for real, for real. I want to give just everybody an opportunity just again to pop into the comments. If you're not here, if you're watching, you're kind of ghosting us, I need you to jump in. Let us know you're here. You know, there are benefits for being in the live stream. I'm just saying, I'm just going to put that out there. But do me a favor. If you have questions for Kimberly, would you pop them in the comments? We want this to be interactive. Like, what questions do you have about, you know, what it means to pivot during this time? What questions do you have about growing your business? You have an amazing entrepreneur and business leader who is doing it and doing it real time. This is the time to ask questions, y'all. Okay. So go back to that wisdom. I got way off track. You know, I get excited. I'm sorry. I get excited. Kimberly, go back to what you were talking about helping those entrepreneurs and those leaders who were saying, you know what, is this even the time right now?
You know, actually, I think it's a great time. And depending on where you are in the starting stages of starting your business, if you're saying maybe just have a concept, so this is a great time to start. It's a great time to start building. It's a great time to start asking the questions. It's a great time to even just kind of plan out your steps and what that might look like. If you're seasoned and you're wondering, it's a great time to launch something, you know, you got to remember there's people out there that need what you have.
Yeah.
You know, and people right now, especially with everything happening, need content and they need knowledge. So it may be a thing of you're teaching someone. I remember you mentioned someone here, and I'm sorry, I can't see her name, but she teaches. You know, right now,
Debbie Beaudry-Hatch.
Okay. Well, like people are consuming information right now. So she may have a different way of displaying that information or teaching it. So I definitely think right now is a perfect time to do that, regardless of what stage you're in. It could be planning, developing, gathering information, testing, you know, what people's views are or what they like about XYZ that you may be building, or on the other end, still keep putting information out there. I think that goes back to the definition of pivoting. You just don't stop moving.
Yeah.
You just make it move differently.
Move differently. I absolutely love that. One of the things that I think gets in people's way is they're so afraid of failing, right? Yeah. They're so afraid of, if I test this or I put it out there, you know, people aren't going to like it or nobody's going to respond or whatever. The other thing people are afraid of is not getting that like. Like, we are so addicted to the like.
Yes.
I need y'all to get over that, because let me tell you something. If God has given you a purpose, if he's given you something in your heart, something that you're meant to do, and I hate to keep picking on Debbie Beaudry-Hatch, but Debbie is an amazing leader. She's got some amazing things. Debbie, if you have a Facebook page or IG page or a website, would you do us a favor? Drop it in the comments. I want people to know who you are and what it is you're doing. But if God has given you something, you may not always get a like. I tell y'all all the time, I show up every Monday, whether I've got one person or I've got 1,000. Listen to me. I show up whether I've got one person or 1,000. Now, there might be things going on, like on August 3rd, which I think is next Monday. I think that's going to be our first day of school. So we're going to do a throwback replay to one of our amazing older episodes. But that's because I'm on purpose, right? I've got a child who's getting ready to start school, and that week I'm going to be focused and concentrated on him. But we hesitate because we're waiting for perfection. Oh, I got to get it all together. I got to have a website. I got to have this, that, or the other. No, you don't. Yeah. Kimberly has dropped some wisdom here. This may be a season when you begin asking questions, right? Pop a question on your Facebook feed. Hey, guys, you know, if you had to pick from 3 answers, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? You know, get on a Zoom call with your tribe. Ask them for feedback. Let's go back to that scaling. Sorry, Kimberly. Let's go back to that
No,
scaling.
you're good.
If you're testing something, you're trying to figure out, hey, is it time for me to get help? Do some tribing. Get together and have people, your friends in your community, your ride or dies. Let me tell you, they will show up for you and not require anything of you. Now, you need to nurture that community. You need to nurture those relationships,
Right.
but not everything, not all the help you need is going to be something you have to pay for. Kimberly, you were going to say something.
There's a statement that people always talk about, knowing your why and knowing your purpose. But I think there's actually another more important W, if you will, to me, is knowing your when.
Come on.
Knowing when, because here's the thing, I'm a constant like you are. We want feedback. We want to ask people, and oftentimes people put something out there and it doesn't land the way they thought. It may not have been the right season for your audience. So that's why it's important to, as an entrepreneur, regardless of beginning or season, know your tribe, know your audience. Don't bank it off of what someone else in your same field is doing. There's a million people that do what I do, but the people that I'm called to serve, I know when to position something and when not to. So when you really understand the power of the when do I present this? When do I offer this? When do I put it out there? Because your idea could be amazing. But if, say, for example, if you put it out in the summer when people are traveling and doing other things, you're going to feel like it was a failure. So your failure really wasn't a failure. It was simply a delayed in timing. But we can put down something and say, I'm never going to do it again because I didn't get the likes. I didn't get the signups. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. And honestly, it's about the timing. So I think that goes back to just really understanding and doing your homework. I think we rush to execution without really doing our homework and really understanding that. So I think, if you guys can master the when, it shifts so much. And it reduces a lot of the overwhelm.
It reduces the overwhelm.
Yes.
So you've said two things that I think are really important. It's knowing the when balanced with not being afraid of the timing.
Yes.
Right. So there's one thing to be paralyzed, to say, oh, wait a second, there's nothing I can do. I can't move to the left or the right. But there's another thing to say, hold on a second, I didn't get any response from this question, or maybe that product or service didn't land. Let me go back to the drawing board. I was talking to an entrepreneur, actually somebody who is in corporate, but also running a business on the side. And she was like, nobody responded to this. And so I don't even know if I need to be here. And I said, hold on a second, boo, you're giving up too easy, right? You have to learn to be curious. I say this to my executive coaching clients all the time. You have to learn to be curious, to not allow negative feedback or a negative circumstance. Maybe you didn't get the sales contract or whatever. You can't be discouraged because it didn't happen right, real time. You got to go back to it. You got to be curious about what is happening. That's real engagement, is going back to it and being curious about it.
Yeah.
Early on in quarantine, my contracts were affected like everybody else's, and y'all know I'm very purpose driven. So I believe in what I'm doing. I do it for free. I don't do it for free, but I would. But at that season, what I knew was that my clients needed help and support, not an invoice. This was just me. I was blessed, and I am blessed that I could do that in that moment. And so I reached out and I said, here's how I can serve. No charge. I'm here with you. Let me know how I can help. But then I pulled back because I knew I work in a lot of essential industries. So my clients were at the front lines of what was happening with COVID-19. And I stepped back and I said, you know what? I'm here when you need me. So about May, I started reaching back out to say, been thinking about you, praying for you. Here's a resource that might help. No need to respond. Wishing you the best. And one of my primary clients, one of my largest clients, reached back out and said, hey, listen, it's really good to talk with you. We're starting to catch our breath a little bit. I wanted you to know something. Can we talk? So I got on the phone with him and he said, Karen, he said, you were the only one. You were the only one who actually reached out and was not trying to sell us something. Y'all need to hear this. You're the only one that wasn't trying to sell us something. And that is why you are going to be our vendor of choice for the rest of this year.
Awesome.
Y'all need to hear me. And that wasn't strategic. That was what was in my heart.
Yeah.
I went with what was in my heart. So providing a product or service, testing the water, wasn't any room for that, y'all. In the moment, I was scared like everybody else. I was clueless like everybody else, but I knew I had enough skill and enough heart to go with what was important in the moment. And in the moment, I could provide a service. I could provide a support just by saying, I see you, I've got you. I see you, I've got you. And then show up.
Yeah.
You know what? That makes all the difference in the world. Woo, y'all. I need a minute. Like, I'm gonna need to get in my prayer closet. Oh my gosh. Debbie says, there are a million people who do what I do, but there are people who specifically need me. Amen, sister. Listen, there are coaches everywhere. There are coaches in this community. Coach Alicia Newton, Coach Kyla Charlemagne. All y'all have a specific community, a specific need. Your clients need you. My clients need me.
Yeah.
There may be a season when they don't need me. And you know what? I'm going to say, go in peace. And you know what? Because I've fulfilled my purpose in that moment. Purpose, listen to me really carefully. Purpose is something that you have until the day you leave this earth. So whether it's with that one client or those other clients, there is always somebody who needs you. Yes. For those of you that are in corporate, or maybe you've lost your job, listen to me. I understand what that feels like. I may not know what you're going through right in this moment, but there is somebody who needs you. Sometimes the pivot when you've lost your job is, you know what? I don't want to go work at McDonald's. I don't want to go work at the department store or whatever. But let me tell you, that may be a setup for you. That may be a setup to what's next for you. I'm just saying. Woo. Coach Alicia Newton says, authenticity works. Just be you. Yeah. This is good. This is good. I could go on, but listen, we're getting ready to wrap it up. But Kimberly, you have a little something for these beauties in this. Yes. Can you tell us now, y'all? I always leave it to my guests. It's never mandatory, but these are the kind of people that we have in this community. So, Kimberly, can you tell us, what are you offering for our beautiful community?
Well, as she mentioned to you, I have a couple of businesses. So one of them being So Reap Harvest, which I know she shared with you guys. And I wanted to give away 2 boxes. No obligations. We're not going to be hunting you down to be a member, but we wanted to give away 2 boxes, and just so that you can experience So Reap Harvest. So
oh my gosh,
like that, how she wants to do that, but we just want to bless 2 people. Yeah.
Y'all, okay, some of you are going to get blessed double. Like, you should be getting something in the mail any minute. For those of you who won the drawings from last week or the week before, you should be getting something any minute. But can you see the names in the stream? I want you to let me think how to do this. I'm gonna give everybody a minute. But let's do it this way, just because I don't want any claims of like favoritism. I want you to think of a number between, y'all are going to wring my neck, but this is the way we're going to do it for right now until we perfect this process. I want you to think of a number between 1 and 50.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to think of a number between 1 and 50. Okay. And what I'd like for you to do is, if you are following along in the live stream, y'all, there are benefits for being in the live stream. Share with your friends so they won't be mad at you, because for those of you that follow along every week, listen to me. I'm telling you, there are benefits for being here live in the stream. And I know everybody's got stuff going on, but I just think there's something special about showing up. Okay. Between 1 and 50, for those of you that are following along in the live stream, just drop a number in the comments real quick. We're going to give you a few minutes as we get ready to wrap up. Just drop a number between 1 and 50, and whoever gets closest to Kimberly's number, she's got a number in her head, drop a number, any number between 1 and 50, and we're going to give you a few minutes to get in the live stream, to get into this drawing. We've got 2 Sow Reap Harvest boxes. Y'all are going to be blown away, and you're welcome, because these boxes are amazing. And I've never done a subscription before, but I'm telling you, I'm here for it. We've got some numbers coming in, 6, 7. Hey, Shay Cunningham. Hey, girl. Hey, we need to have you on the live stream because you've got some things going on. I know. Akila Charlemagne her number is 7. Alicia is 25. Beverly is 28. Debbie is 19. I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes, and you may not want to share with your friends, because you know what? I just thought about that. Because if you share with your friends, then what are you going to do? Shereen, her number is 31. It's getting hot in here. I'm so excited about these boxes, y'all. Do not be mad at me. Okay, 31 is Shereen. I'm going to give you a few more minutes, but just as we wrap up, Kimberly, would you just give us a few words of inspiration to this community? We are in July, getting ready to be in August. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. We have entrepreneurs, we have corporate leaders, we have folks that are looking for work. We have a beautiful, diverse community, white, black, gay, straight, you name it. We have this beautiful, amazing community. Would you just speak into our hearts? Maybe leave us with a few parting thoughts.
I think I would reiterate just a couple of things. To remember to nurture your purpose. I think that's something that's, if you get nothing else from this, nurture that. Spend some time with it. Make it non-negotiable with yourself that you are not going to step away from your gift. You're not going to step away from your purpose, and that you're going to be intentional about carving out time to really nurture the very thing that you really love to do. And then also make a list of every obstacle, fear, whatever it is that's in front of you, and then rewrite that narrative. Because when you speak to it and you rewrite it, you'll be able to nurture something a little bit more in a healthier space. So rewrite the narratives that you're telling yourself.
Rewrite the narratives.
Yeah.
Rewrite the narratives. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got 2 boxes.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you want them to go to 2 different people.
Yes.
Okay. So you picked one number. I need you to pick one more.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes, I do.
Number between 1 and 50.
I got it.
What is your first number?
It was 20.
Wait a minute. The first number is 20.
It was, yeah.
We have, I think, can you see the live? Can you see the comments? Can you see
Yeah, I think Debbie's the closest. She was 19.
Debbie Beaudry, you just won a box, girl, from So Reap.
So funny.
Girl, I love giving stuff away. My husband, I don't think he knew really what he was getting into. Debbie Beaudry Hatch. So Debbie is, she actually, I think she won one of our other live streams because she shows up, y'all. Hey, what can I say? Being in the live stream has benefits. So I'm going to share her address with you.
Okay.
And you're going to love this box. Okay. Second number. Here we go. What's your second number?
It was 10.
Wait, 10. 6, 7. Let me just see. Hold on. I think that would be Akila.
I think she's the closest one.
She picked 7.
She said, "That's me, boo."
Just tell us how you feel about it, Akila. Okay, so congratulations, Debbie Beaudry Hatch. And Kyla Charlotte who says, stop playing. Okay. Amazing. Oh my gosh. You guys, can you just stop for a minute and just give kind of a collective hand clap to Kimberly DeShields-Spencer of UImpact, who has absolutely rocked our worlds this morning.
Thank you.
You are
I appreciate you having me on here. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, of course. Okay, so tell us where we can find UImpact. We know we can find Soul Reap Harvest at soulreapharvest.com. Where can we find UImpact? And just real quickly clarify the services that you provide in UImpact.
You can go to UImpact, letter U, IMPACT.net. And we specifically focus more on the marketing and branding side. So helping you learn how to market in different ways in terms of what it is you offer. And also from a branding perspective too, honing your voice and making sure that you come out in what it is that you're presenting.
Wow.
So those are the two services we offer.
Amazing. Well, it has been an absolute joy. Let me just speak to the beauties in this community. You know, we've got men and women in this community now. We opened it up when quarantine started, but I just want to speak to your heart right now. It's a brand new slate. It's a new week. And I want to encourage you. I want to leave you with this pivot power play. And that is to set boundaries and protect your space. Okay, set boundaries and protect your space. You cannot do what it is that's next for you. You can't do what it is you're called to do. You can't fully operate in your purpose if you've always got noise going on. Somebody said that in the live stream. I think it was Debbie who said something about there's so much noise. Shut it down. Shut it down. Noise is about what you allow.
Yeah.
I get it. You've got, a social media feed like everybody else. I do too. And I see so many things going on. Kimberly, you mentioned this. But even for those people that I don't agree with, those people that have taken a negative stance, I have tried to be incredibly positive, even in those moments, not necessarily removing relationship with them, but sometimes you have to love people from a distance, and you may have to remove connection for the moment because you're trying to protect your space. Your essential pivot power play, doing things differently, taking a different stance, moving so that your focus is different, is all about protecting your space. I need you to thin out your social media feed. I need you to protect your space. Now my business has grown where I can't take every phone call. I can't respond to every email. I have asked people to stop DMing me memes and videos and all like that, because what's happening is people are replacing those things for having a one-on-one conversation and having an opinion themselves. Now, I'm not trying to preach. I'm just telling you, I've asked everybody to stop sending me that because I cannot get focused when I've got all that negative noise coming in. We all need a place to process. We all need a place to be real. Kimberly and I are that for each other. We need a place to be real. But I consider my thoughts and the way I walk in prayer, in a light of positivity, in a light of hope, and in the function and frame of my purpose. I'm a bridge builder, and I am someone who holds a light in darkness. That is my role, and I will do that until the day I leave this earth. So I need you to get clear. I need you to get focused. I need you to stop allowing all that negativity and connect. If you are not already a part of the group coaching community, you can, at the top banner here in the public Rock Your Vision page, there's a button that says visit group. Go ahead and pop in there and come on in and join in this space where we're learning to do it together. It's absolutely free. And it's been not only a blessing to the community, it's been a blessing to me, y'all. Y'all have blessed my socks off. Well, listen, when we do all of these things, the reality is that something bubbles to the surface. And you know what that is? You know what I'm about to say? Options. You have options. Even when it seems like the world is shut down, you have options. Nobody's going to do it for you. But what we're going to do in this community is show you how you can tap in to your own options. We've had an amazing guest this morning.
Thank you.
us figure some of that out and sharing her essential pivot power plays. Kimberly,
No, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
thank
It's been
you so
awesome.
much. Yeah, hold on for 1 second. We're going to stop the live stream and then we're just going to debrief real quickly. To all of you who have joined us this morning and you're following along on the live stream, or maybe you're catching it on replay, don't forget to put hashtag replay, and do me a favor, share this video with your friends, with your community. We want to light up the world. We want to remind folks that they have options too. We love, love, love you. Beverly Wilkes, thank you so, so much. She says shutting down the noise is so important. Amen. But until next time, remember, beloved, you have more options than you realize. I'll catch you in the next live stream. See you then.